Hey guys, I thought I'd make another one of these since it's Monday. Hopefully this one will work a lot better than last week because it'll make my life easier and it'll be easier for you guys. So I think I'll just talk about my weekend because I was just in Paris. Whatever. Just kidding. It was so great. Um, we did a lot in like a little over 2 days. We left at like 6 in the morning on Friday, and then went and took a train, and then walked for half an hour in the rain in the dark to Dover and got on a ferry. And it was like a hour and a half ferry, and I found out that I don't do so well on ferries, so I like took Dramamine or whatever and slept the entire way, and then got up and we had to get a shuttle to a train station, took a train, and then took another train that was like the high speed train all through France. It was really cool. That took another 2 hours, and then we were in Paris, and we walked around and saw stuff, tried to find food, but it's kind of expensive in Paris because it's Paris, and kind of stunk because it was raining, and I was running on 4 hours of sleep, and it was really, it was a lot to take in for me because it was like a complete culture shock. Coming to England, it's still all in English, everyone speaks English, so it wasn't that big of a deal. In France, I don't know any French except like bonjour, like stuff like that. So it didn't really help much. So it was a really big culture shock for me because everyone's speaking a different language. I can't just go up and ask someone something. I can't read anything. I can like look at the pictures and try and figure it out. But so it's hard for me to get used to all that on 4 hours of sleep after traveling how many hours that day. So I wasn't the happiest camper. Oh, it was raining, which I don't do well with. So I wasn't the best person to be around, which I felt bad for the group I was with because it's kind of a Debbie Downer and I didn't mean to be. So once we walked around and found something to eat, we like split, me and one of my friends that was with us, we split a pizza, which was actually really good. And then we went to the Eiffel Tower, which was amazing. It was like 13 euros to go all the way up into the Eiffel Tower and see everything, and it had stopped raining by then. So it was so amazing. I can't even like explain it. And I'll put my pictures on Facebook, but the pictures don't even do it justice whatsoever. Like, definitely want to go back there in my life. I hope I can. Who knows? But definitely one of my favorite moments in my life. And oh, then funny story because I'm Michele. I had this like big book bag, this huge book bag, like full. Me and Lauren, our book bags were probably like 2 feet out from our backs. So I had it down so we could all be standing because they cram you into this elevator to go up. And I'm trying to get out of the elevator, and this guy stepped on the strap. So I'm like trying to pull it out, but I didn't realize I was in the doorway. So then the door's like shut on me, like front and back, and I'm trying to rip my bag, and I'm freaking out because I'm stuck in an elevator door thing. And it's not like the normal ones where they just kind of open up. It's like I didn't know what to do. And then he realized he was stepping on it, and I was stuck, so he like freaked out, and then they opened the doors. Then I had to run and catch up with everybody, so I was scared, but it was a funny story. Yeah, so we did that, and then we had to take. We were like in the underground way. Like France is smelly. Like Paris is really smelly. I was really surprised with that one. I guess I shouldn't be so surprised, but there was a few times on the train. Some people walked by, like I was sleeping, and I like woke up because they smelled. Like I'm not trying to be mean to any French people whatsoever. Just the few ones that walked by me. I wish I could have given them some deodorant because I could smell them for a while. Anyway, so we took like the underground metro, nowhere near as nice as the tube in London, but still good enough. And it's super long. It's like way longer than the L's in Chicago. So we took that back. It went all the way to Disney, and it goes right into Disneyland. And then there's a shuttle that took us from there to our hotel, and our hotel was really nice. We all got our own beds, and it had a full breakfast, like buffet, but a French breakfast is croissants, just things of bread, salad, and turkey. I don't know. It was weird, but we like filled up because we knew we didn't want to pay for food or anything, and their coffee was fantastic, best coffee I've probably ever had. And then we went to the park and went on 15 rides. and I felt like a little kid again, and I definitely want to go back. If I go to like Disney World in Florida, that's fine too. But it was so good. The Space Mountain in Paris is nowhere near like the one in Florida, and it was amazing. And the line was short, so we went on twice. But since I have a bad rib, probably wasn't the best idea because I'm in quite a bit of pain still today. But it was so worth it. Every minute was worth it. Went on the teacups because I had to, and it was really good. Still have It's a Small World stuck in my head. It was an interesting ride. The song played over and over, but it was good. Then we just went back, had crackers for dinner because it was crazy and we didn't really want to pay for food anyway. And it was late. And then we got up the next morning, had breakfast, the whole thing again, and then went back to Paris. And the guys went into the Louvre, and we just kind of like went around shopping and just found a fountain. And the other girl sat and talked, and I took a nap in Paris, just like by a fountain right outside the Louvre, and it was so amazing. Like I woke up, I'm like, guys, I had a dream. Never mind, I'm living it. And it was so great. I was kind of disappointed though because we found out with our student cards we could have got into the Louvre for free, but I mean that's okay. I can just look at the pictures online or something. But I was like outside the Louvre, and it was really great. And then we just walked around, and oh, then we went to Notre Dame, and ah, so amazing, so amazing. That's I don't even know how to explain these things, and so great. I want to go back there again. And we walked across this bridge, one of the lock bridges, and there's both sides of this bridge are just covered in locks, and there's like locks on locks on locks, and I don't know, it just knowing that many people love each other and like have done that. We're thinking like how many of these maybe aren't so true anymore, but still just the idea, and we thought it'd be cool if we could have found like the oldest one, or just thinking about who the first lock was on that bridge. Just I don't know. My husband better take me there at some point so we can put our lock on that bridge because just because why not? And so we went there and then went to Notre Dame, and it was so good. And we got crepes on the street, and it was a lot of fun. And then we had to go back, and yesterday was a lot of waiting then because we had to get trains, and the only time because it was Sunday, so everything wasn't running as much as normal. So we would get to a train and then have to wait 40 minutes, then get to another train, have to wait 40 minutes, and then this big storm was coming into England. So when we got on the ferry, we were lucky enough to get on a quicker ferry, and we had to get a taxi because there wasn't a shuttle anymore. And I got to be in a Mercedes as a taxi. I think I was going like 70 miles an hour down this thing. I don't know. It's France, so but I just thought it was so cool, like a Mercedes. And it was only 12 euros for 3 people. And if we would have walked, it was not good. They had like immigration tent thing. I don't know. So I'm really glad. I would have paid 12 myself just for a taxi. And then we got on an earlier ferry, and I was scared because I didn't want to get sick, and everyone else was fine on the way there. So we were watching this movie once we got on, and then I felt bad because I didn't want to watch it. So I moved over by one of our friends that was over way on the side by the window. And me, being me, as usual, I started talking to this, they weren't a couple, but they were like in this club for some weird sport that's really popular in France. I don't know. So I started talking to them, and it was Jean and Ken, and they were really nice, and I talked to them the whole time because I realized talking to them, I wasn't getting sick on this rocking boat, which there was like white caps in the English Channel because the storm was coming in, and the ferry should have taken like an hour and a half, maybe towards 2 hours. No, probably an hour and a half. But the storm was so bad that the ferry port in Dover got backed up, so we had to just float around for an hour in our ferry. So it was just kind of bad, and I talked to them and it was fine, but then the other 3 girls ended up like getting really seasick and kind of getting sick. So I felt really bad for them, and I just thought it was ironic that like they got sick, but I didn't. I don't know, I was happy. And then we had to walk for half an hour in the rain to the other train station, then sit and got the train, and then finally got back. So it was so much in a weekend, but it was one of the greatest weekends ever. Like totally worth it, every euro. And I'll definitely remember it for the rest of my life. And coming back from it, like looking back on this whole weekend, I definitely have a greater appreciation for culture and language and even America. Being here, I see how much I appreciate my own country and the things we have compared to these other countries. Like, I still respect these other countries and they're amazing, and their history to them are amazing. But proud to be an American, as most Americans would probably say. But I definitely want to try and get back there, as I hope to be back to England more than once in my life. So that was my weekend. It's already over 11 minutes of this, so I apologize. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to make some more, just telling you more about my time here and what's going on and embarrassing stories, kind of like getting stuck in an elevator. So, yep, hope you guys enjoyed it. Another Monday with Michelle, and see you guys next Monday for sure. And have a good week.